It was a meeting that had all the potential hallmarks of another White House bust-up. Donald Trump and Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, have been at loggerheads for weeks. But if there was any tension between the two, you couldn't see it. Mr. Carney even adopting the Trump pump in solidarity.
Regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place. I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians.
But he's accused by the man sitting right next to him of having exactly the opposite, after imposing punitive tariffs and with constant talk of a takeover.
If they became our 51st state, it would be the greatest thing they could ever do.
It's crazy. His point is crazy.
Which Carney has firmly rejected.
That will never, ever happen.
But that, of course, didn't stop Trump from pushing the idea again in the Oval Office today.
When you look at that beautiful formation, when it's together, I'm a very artistic person, but when I looked at that beauty, I said that's the way it was meant to be. But you know, I do feel it's much better for Canada, but we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it.
Mark Carney clearly did.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, you know, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
But never say never. Never say never.
Such a firm rebuttal will be music to the ears of the Canadians who pulled the Liberal Party back from the abyss by electing Mark Carney precisely because of his anti-Trump rhetoric and years of financial experience, including as the governor of the Bank of England, which they believed would give Canada a strong frontman in tariff negotiations.
Well, we don't do much business with Canada from our standpoint. They do a lot of business with us.
Carney clearly didn't agree with that, but he knows he has to show respect to his nearest neighbour, lest things went the way of President Zelensky's infamous browbeating.
This is not going to be like we had another little blow-up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly conversation, but
despite the bonhomie, there was very obvious tension in the room, not least on trade, where Canada has been slapped with tariffs on steel and cars, despite having a trade deal with America, which Trump seemed only too happy to dismiss outright.
We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things, because we want to be able to do it ourselves.
Trump clearly wants to unpick years of tight integration with Canada, but Carney is determined his country won't lose out, even as he insists that the old world order, the old friendship between the United States and Canada, is over.